Welcome back to another Farmington Bantam hockey game here in St. Paul. Hey, my thing said I'm on mute.
Oh yeah,
Right. Am I on mute right now?
Yeah.
Or no, I'm off mute. Am I still on mute or no?
You're live.
Wait. This says I'm on mute.
Here you go. You're good.
All right. Here we go. Farmington down in St. Paul here. The weird thing about these two teams is they both beat teams and lost teams, just the exact opposite. A little bizarre. So Farmington loses to St. Paul to Lakeville South, and St. Paul here beats them, and then a few other games vice versa. So should be a pretty even match game. All right. Who do we got out there on the ice today? We got Ryan Casano, Grossly, and Miles Otney. Face off won by St. Paul. Little D to D. Another cross ice pass. Holding it in their zone, trying to control the puck. Let's see somebody. A little chip. tip, Ondich with the puck, off the boards. Ooh, little jump over the stick there. Ooh, snagged it, not enough. Out of the zone, trying to wheel. Chipped the puck back into the Farmington zone. Jace with the puck, shoots it over to Casano, goes deep into the zone. A little bit of pressure behind the net. Some D-to-D action. Both teams getting some line changes. Little missed pass there by St. Paul. Gets the puck deep into the zone. And put some forward pressure, forward checking on. Wesley Matson putting some pressure on. Over to Holcomb. And St. Paul heading up the ice. Dumps it deep. Matson going for the puck. St. Paul went to cycle. Farmington was there. Holcomb getting it deep. Some more D-to-D action. Nice poke check. Puck back in the corner. Get some body on that one. All right. Going to chip the puck up and out of the zone. Looks like it's going to be an icing, folks. And icing it is. All right. Face off with Matson, Holcomb. Back to our D. Takes a little goofy bounce over the stick. Pressure on. Nice pass to Sellers. Sellers breaking in the zone. Looking for a play. It's looking for some options. Still got the puck. Big Ben's got the puck. Gets it back to Matson. Let one rip. Takes it to the left side. Cycling the puck again. Battling. Matson to Matson. Get the puck deep. Sellers with the puck. Cycling. Nice centering pass there. Just a bit far. And now the puck's going the other way, down the Farmington zone, a little dangling. Not much happening there. Got it, holding up the puck. Holcomb to Sellers. Sellers over to Matson. Matson working in the zone, a little dangle. Poke to the sit corner. A little board battle occurring. Fishing for the puck. Center pass and in! Look at that one, beauty. Man, that came out of nowhere. Who got that one? That one looks like Levi. Nice. Man. Now you see him, now you don't. Shake and bake, baby. That was from Talladega Nights. Anyhow, game back on. Farmington up, 1-0. Pressure on. Mako into the corner. Casano putting some pressure on. A quick chip pass out for St. Paul, heading into Farmington country. Nice little hip check there. Like to see those. Mako cycling puck out the boards to Levi. Levi to Casano. Battle on the boards. Puck chipped, and Mako going deep with the puck. St. Paul, little D-to-D. Some pressure on. And now, just a little chip. A little bit past Levi's stick. And here we go. Ondich chipped it way up the boards. Levi to Casano. Puck in St. Paul territory. Pressure on. Guys are on each of their men. Nice positioning. Taking away the pass play there. Little chip pass to Levi. Levi offsides. What was that? All right. Puck back in the Farmington zone. And it looks like we're going to get a little bit of roughing. I think they'll grab them both. Well, we can definitely tell the refs don't want this one to get out of hand. They're going to keep it tight tonight. All right. Looks like we're going 5-on-5 still. Some clock management issues occurring right now. It happens. And here we go. Puck back to the deep. Nice block shot by Holcomb. Puck gets out of the zone. Otney putting some pressure on. Little chip up the boards. More D to D action. Blake Kratz got the puck. Some fancy dangling there. Some nice pressure here on Wesley. Holcomb down in the zone. Holcomb sitting out, chips it out to the front, and ooh, nice play. Just a bit wide. That's all right. Madsen going deep again. Going to cycle that puck. Love the pressure. All right. St. Paul looking for the far pass. Big miss. Puck's going deep, but looks like it'll be on net. All right. Farmington back on ditch. Cross ice pass. Picked off by Wesley St. Paul. Terrible shot on their part. We'll take it. Miles, little spin play, kicks the puck out. Icing is waved off. And Farmington's getting a full line change right now. Going for the long pass. Gets it deep in the zone. Both teams with fresh sets of legs. Puck going up, chips out. Oh, just barely kept inside. Gets crushed. Another nice hip check there. I'd like to see the hips coming out today. That's great. 2 hip checks already. All right. Casano over to Sellers. To Madsen gets deep in the zone. Pressure on. Casano back to Sellers. Sellers got the puck. Controlling. Works up a few deeks there. Get the puck deep. Quick shot by Madsen. Gets blocked into the corner. Sellers, more pressure. Casano taking off the passing zone. And then a nice little shove there. And icing's the call. Back all the way down. All right, seems to be a pretty much Farmington owned period so far. 8 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Shots 3-on-1. Face off, push back into the St. Paul corner. Pass up the zone, stay hello, you can't come out. Nice little play there by Bennett. Putting some body on the breakout player. St. Paul passing up to the center. Not sure what he wants to do. Tries to shoot, gets blocked. Nice play there again, Bennett. Some more body play. Solid. St. Paul in the corners, whipping it up to their point. D to D. Trying to bring it in. Another nice block shot. Sellers puts a little body on there. And here we go. We've got Casano racing up the ice. Sellers with them going behind. Casano putting on some speed. Nice. Working the puck around. Back to the D. Gets it over to Kratz. Or to Bennett. No, Kratz. Shot just a bit wide. Right now, the Farmington speed is really playing a dominant role in this game. They try to bring it up. Nice body there. Like to see that. Both teams getting a change. All these South is getting a change. Ondich got some wheels on, going up ice. He's flying. Like those wheels. Working around. Looks like we're going to go to a quick shot from the point. Get deflected to the left, right of the goal. And St. Paul going deep. Farmington has control. Setting up the plays. Nice stick handling there. Passes it up to Holcomb. Holcomb puts it in deep. And you have Madsen in the corner battling for the puck. Holcomb ready to kill this guy. Oh, and he decides no thank you. Gets a loose puck. Nice in front. Loose. Oh. St. Paul picks up the puck. And Farmington taking away all passing lanes. All right. Long ice pass. Recovered by Kratz. Kratz gets it to Levi. Levi getting it deep, looking for a change. Holcomb going aggressive after the puck. Nice job. St. Paul, a little cross ice pass picked off by Otney. That's some fancy dangling. Puck's in front with Madsen, just lingering. Looks like he's looking for his bro for some help. And he's going to let one rip. Everyone covers the family jewels. And we push it back deep into the zone. Cross ice pass, behind the net pass. Otney on the puck, gonna put it back up to, oh, there we go. Ouch. Man, that kid got to have some beef on him to knock Mako down. All right. St. Paul back in their zone. Trying to figure out if they can get the puck out of the zone. Obviously they can't. Casano grabs it again. Gets the puck deep. And Otney putting some pressure on. Goalie is trying to ring the boards. And gets the puck deep again. Otney to put some pressure on. They're keeping it on the far side. Mako to pick up the puck. Gains control. Gets pulled away. St. Paul is kind of whipping it, hoping they can get some relief here. And now we go back to Aiden Matson, going back to Bennett. Bennett's looking for the long pass. Off the boards, gets picked off. Oh, that's going to happen. Puck back in the corner. Puck goes high. Mako with the puck, or Ben with the puck. Casano. Puck goes deep. Holcomb going after the puck. Kids doesn't want any of that. Would rather just give the puck away. St. Paul stuck in their zone, can't get out. Farmington just keeps the pressure on, and we're looking at an icing here, folks. And puck is coming all the way back down. Four minutes, 20 seconds left. Shots 5-1. Farmington up 1-0. Gotta like the hustle and the pressure the Farmington boys are putting on today. All right. Puck one going deep into the St. Paul zone. Puck along the boards. Keep pushing it back deep. Farmington aggressive. Two guys on the puck. Puck battle won by St. Paul. Now we put a little more muscle on there. And there's a shot. Oh, just a bit wide. Nice play there. Puck back in the corner. St. Paul trying to set up a breakout play. Not happening. Trying to get a little bit of a wing outlet pass, but he decides to take it back deep into their own zone. Another hit by Grossley. And we're looking at the St. Paul team having a really difficult time getting out of the zone. Poke check, fantastic. Anders kicks it up the ice. Casano skating in, got a few players with him. Little dangle, not so bad. He got poke check. Sellers gets it, goes back again. Back to Grossley. Ooh, looking for that centering Anders pass. Back over, cross ice to Casano. Casano looking where to go. Ooh, puck gets away from Kratz. That's all right. He's got some help with him. Not a big deal. Turn around. Looking for a long ice pass to Levi. Levi gets the puck. Oh. Puck chipped up the boards. Kept in the zone by Wesley. Nice play there. Looking for that center pass. And we got too many guys on him. That's all right. Levi going for the puck. Poke check. Back in the corner. Looking for some options. Looking for Wesley or Aiden. Aiden lets a shot go. Ooh. Nice screen. Nice tip. Goalie just ended up with the puck. All right. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left in the first. 7 shots to 1. Wesley Matson gets a puck to the side. St. Paul gains control, working for that breakout. Center pass. Center's breaking up the ice. It's a little bit of a 3-on-1. Not a lot of options for St. Paul. Ooh, there was an option there with a nice center pass, just a little bit outside. Now we're going back the other way with Wesley Matson. Going to take that shot. Juicy rebound lingering. Kick to the boards. And high stick is the call. Face off. Wesley Matson wins the puck over to his partner, Cooper Mako. St. Paul working up the boards. Going to go deep. Aiden Matson ringing the boards over to Levi. Gets picked out. Now we have Cooper Mako owning these guys. Nice shot on goal. And the goalie's not sure where it is, so he's just going to say time to cover up. Face off, Wesley Matson, Levi Lutzinger, Cooper Mako. Face off won by St. Paul, going back into the zone, a little loop to loop, trying to poke check out of the zone, goes to Ethan Bennett. Ethan Bennett off the boards. St. Paul grabs the puck, takes a shot, and dribbles in under the armpit of left. All right, 1 minute, 34 seconds left in the first. Score is 1-1. Shots 9-on-2. Farmington dominating the game. Just not the score. Ooh, almost picked that one off. Puck now gets dropped deep. Ouch! That one's going to hurt. All right. St. Paul trying to defend Ondich. Ondich just wheeling. Little dangling. Not sure what they're going to do. Another quick shot and goal! That commotion, that speed, and Ondich Casano goal. Nice. Score is 2-1. Nice answer. All right. 1 minute left. Let's see if we can keep that hustle up and sneak another one in. Otney battling for the puck. Gets the puck deep. St. Paul to play the puck. Goalie's going to ring the boards. Winger says, nope, let's keep it deep in our own zone. Thank you. All right, now we got a 2-on-2 battle. Farmington with the puck, and then oh, dang, nice opportunity there for Ondich. Looks like he lost his stick. That's not going to help. Puck goes back, and it's an icing. We'll take it. Man, why ice the puck when you got a guy without a stick? All right, there's the twig. Here we go. Face off. Casano, Otney, Grossly. One back into the zone. Bennett with the puck. They're going to kick it back deep. Waiting for Grossly. Grossly's got the puck. Battle in the corner. Going to cycle the puck. Goes back to Bennett. Bennett out of the zone. Far ice back to Matson. Matson got the puck. We're going a little deeper yet. 24 seconds in the period. Back over to Bennett. Bennett looking for a pass. Gets picked. Back in the Farmington zone. Ooh, he gets hammered. They're calling that a penalty now. I don't know about that. When you lose your footing, you lose your footing, but just because you fell into the boards and can't skate, now Bennett gets a penalty. Feels pretty weak to me. All right, Farmington on the penalty kill. 11 seconds left in the period. All right, one face-off won by Casano. Tips up the board. Grabbed by St. Paul. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that'll end the first period of play. Farmington up 2-1. Shots are 10-2. And we're waiting on a 1 minute and 49-second penalty. Well, hopefully it'll work out. All right. Second period. 1 minute, 49 seconds of the penalty. Face off. Picked off South St. Paul. Little D to D action. Chips it up the boards. Gets back in the Farmington zone. Little body going back to the D. D to D. Little fumble under the puck. Wide angle shot. Nice block by Webinger. And then there you go, Sellers. Kick that puck down the ice. And you're not only going to kick it down, you're going to get the puck. Keep that pressure on. Good penalty kill. Sellers doing the smart thing, hustling and jumping off the ice, getting a change. And then here we go the other way. And nice check by St. Paul. Takes out his own guy. All right, here we go. Matson. 2. Oh, just a rocket. Puck going back. D to D. St. Paul. Chip pass. Working up the boards. And they're going to go for a little flipper towards Webby. Webby kicks it to the side. And a nice little body play there. Ondich working the puck up the board. Nice body there. Puck goes deep. Another little dinky play to the goalie. Goalie is lovely. All right, face off. Matson. Luxinger with Ondich, and looks like Matson on D. Centering pass, chipped up to St. Paul. St. Paul cross ice pass, gets in the zone. We got 18 seconds left of the power play for them. Cross ice pass to the other D. Other D whips it in. Rebound recovered. And now we're looking at puck loose in our zone. Off the boards, chipped. St. Paul holds his own. Puck goes deep into the corner. Ondich comes up with the puck. Skating with the puck, chipped off the boards. And now we have Cooper Mockel. Let one rip, buddy. Oh. And St. Paul chips up the boards again. Matson back over to Bennett. Bennett gets it deep. A few Tigers getting some fresh legs out there. Lost puck. Mockel tips it in. Puck back in the corner. Casano gets it back to Bennett. Bennett outside the zone. Matson with the puck. You got a few of the St. Paul players making a change. Puck goes deep into the zone. Little back D to D. Casano's going to grab the puck. Kicks it out loose to Mockel. Mockel chips behind the net. St. Paul looking for a little head drag, head dangle. Cooper picks that one off. Puck comes out of the Farmington zone. A little bit more body there. Coming back in. Bennett rubs the guy off the puck. Good job there. Centering pass deflected. Puck goes up to the point. Levi not biting on the bait. And now we're looking at the puck going behind the net. Matson's got control. Going to put the gas on and flies up the boards. Back into St. Paul country. Matson's going to center it. Oh, close. Nice pass out, Cooper. Otney back. Oh, just a bouncing pinball right now. Oh my God, that looked like it could have been a trip on Farmington. Farmington got away with one. Otney back, passes back to Matson. Casano lets one rip just a bit wide. Coming back the other way now. Outward pass gets picked off by Matson. Matson back deep. Puck is going to get turned around. A few of the Farmington boys are looking a little tired. Long shift. We're making some smart changes right now. Puck battle in the corner. Casano putting on some gas, going to take on him. Grossly put pressure on, and St. Paul to kick the puck away. Puck up the board, picked off, way offside. If he wants to pull that one, offsides by a mile. Ouch. All right, face off, neutral zone, 9 minutes, 41 seconds. Wesley Matson taking the face off with Miles and Grossly on both sides. Face off won by Matson. Jace gets it deep. Goalie pushes it back. Little cross ice pass to their D. Trying to work it up the boards. All right, dangling. A lot of dangling going on here. Trying to work the puck. Looking for a centering pass. Not having it. Miles going for the puck. Chips it up and bangs it to Grossly. Nice. Let's see what Chase can do here. Gets around the guy and rips one. Just a bit high. St. Paul working back into the Farmington country. Puck gets tipped. It still gets picked up by St. Paul. Shoots it a bit wide. Miles has got the puck. Oh, stopped by St. Paul. Puck's getting turned over. A little bit of a trip there. Puck goes far, deep, Grossly. He gets it deep back down. Ondich still has the puck. Oh, man, just sitting loose in front of the goal. Keeps on going back. Matson tips it. Otney still has the puck. Waiting, looking, nice stick handle there. With the center, got picked off. Keeps the control of the puck. Still sitting there. And back down deep into the corner. Casano going to put some pressure on. Tries to chip it. Holds the puck in the zone. That aggressive hockey play there. Chips it in. Goes to try to pound it in. And St. Paul tried to go the distance. Puck gets poked. A little bit of a bad bounce over to Matson. Matson up to Holcomb. Holcomb gets the puck taken away. Turn that puck fast, boys, because they are tired. St. Paul trying to make a line change. It's a 4-on-2. Nice shot. Hammers it. Goalie blocks it. Keeps it deep. Man, these guys must be getting taught to always go deep into your zone because they don't want to get out of the zone. All right, Farmington back with the puck. Cross ice pass. And we got Sellers grabbing it. Ooh, nice play on the St. Paul side to kick it to the corner. Farmington battling, little 3-on-2. Casano back in, grinding. Gets it to Holcomb. Holcomb back at the point. Point lets one rock. Ooh, just a bit wide. Now we got Matson going deep for the puck. He pulls it in, shoots one off. Nice, juicy rebound. It's sitting there and can't take advantage of it. Farmington back up into the neutral ice zone. Well, that's an icing. How was that not an icing? Oh. Ooh, ripped it wide. Casano back deep. Batson kicks it to the side. Bennett with the puck, looking for the long ice pass. Decides to bounce it down to Sellers. Good. And here we have Casano with the puck. Dangling. Like for that. Ooh. Cooper Maka with a sweet shot. Goes off the boards. And St. Paul picks it up. Heading back to the Farmington country. Kick save. Over to the corner. Nice job, Levy. Puck battle continues. And Bennett playing this guy. It's nice physical hockey. St. Paul loses the puck. A little more D to D. Gets it deep. And St. Paul's going to look for a line change. Farmington off the board. So Mako goes over. Kicks it to that's to Levi. Levi gets one in the back. Battle continues along the boards. Cooper Mako owns it, rips one, blocked, keeps it in, back in the corner, gets back. Matson holds it, Looking for that center pass. Gets it to Cooper. Cooper back. Ooh. Back to Levi. Levi. Ondich rips a shot. The goalie covers it up. 5:14 left in the period. Face off. Won by St. Paul. Puck goes back in the corner. Levi holds up the individual on the board. Cooper sitting there digging for the puck. Puck comes loose. Right in the sweet spot. Nice. Nice. Ondich with the ripper. Tipped by what appears to be Wesley Madsen. And another Farmington goal. We're looking at a 3-1 score. 16 shots on 5. 5 minutes left in the second period. All right, face-off. Wesley Madsen. Jace Grossley. Miles. Puck goes back to St. Paul. St. Paul, D to D, passes up the center here. Levi, or Jace, gets in his way, and now St. Paul dumps it deep into the zone. Ondich tries to bring the boards back to Jace. Jace takes it over to Wesley. Wesley, puck back. Wesley poke checks. Ondich battling. Miles. And Webby, nice kick save to the left side. Centering pass, not having it for Farmington, and now we see Ondich. Turnover quick, and nice save. Hugging the pipe, Webby denies St. Paul. Puck battle continues. St. Paul, another centering pass gone wide. Puck enters the neutral zone. Otney putting some pressure on. St. Paul looking for a wide pass, gets it over to his wing. Wing's looking for some other action, and we get picked off again by Kratz. Feel like we have some good action here. Ooh, nice block on the St. Paul side. I thought that was going in. Jace with the puck, working around, dangling, little cycling. Miles with the puck, back up to Ondich. Ondich going to work it low. Oh, no, works it back to Otney. Otney, block shot. Picked off, breakaway. And Bennett with some crazy speed. Nice. Not going to have that. And here we go with the Ondich back the other way. A little 3-on-2 going fast. Oh, look at that dangle. Oh, look at that feed. Miles going to grab the puck, looking where to go. Fire across the ice. Another ripper. Picked off another ripper. Oh my God. This is shelling right now. And that puck goes high, wide, and it's going to be a nice one. Whew, some excitement there. All right, puck coming all the way down. Face off in St. Paul territory. Shots on goal, 19-7. Who do we have out there for face off? Looks like Casano, Holcomb, Sellers. Little drop pass and puck tripped back. Still some neutral zone play. Casano going to put some pressure on there. Puck goes up the boards. Holcomb goes back to D. A little bump there. That happens. And Sellers going to get it deep. Puck behind St. Paul's goalie. There's a little body back up to Bennett. Bennett lets one rip really high. All right, Casano back. Going to try to tip it over. Goes back to the point. Wesley, or Aiden. Aiden shoots. Puck goes right in front of the net. Sellers back with the puck. Going to get it deep. Holcomb. And now St. Paul's working out of the zone. Puck gets back into the St. Paul zone. They cycle it deep. Looking for some outlets. Little poke check. And now the puck's back in the Farmington territory. And a little body play there by Aiden Madsen. Madsen battling for the puck. Now we have a little bit of Bennett action in there as well. You got two players from each team. Puck's working up the boards. Goes high. Cross ice pass. Shot. Oh, nice save. Nice save. Puck's going up the zone. Holcomb gets it up. Now we got Sellers on a tear. Oh, puck stick just grabbed a little bit. Puck just a little bit wide for Casano skate. And now we're back in the St. Paul zone. Cross ice pass. And puck goes far and wide. Kratz has picked it up. Gonna skate. Looking for a far pass. And doesn't see it. And now we're going to get an icing. Call waved off. St. Paul breaking up the zone. That's it back over to Ondich. Ondich, Mako in the zone. Looking for that centering pass. Nice play. Puck was just a little bit wide and going out of the zone. Neutralized play. Ondich with the puck. Gonna drop it for Kratz. Oh, picked off. Not good. Nice save, Levy. Cover it up. All right, let's just take a break on that one. 27 seconds left in the second period. Madsen, Luxinger. On the face-off, puck into the corner. Quick little quick play there. Ondich hits it off the boards, going all the way down. Looks like it'll be an icing. And icing it is. Back down to the Farmington zone. All right, looks like we got Wesley Madsen taking the face-off. 15 seconds left. Puck goes back to St. Paul's D. A little D to D pass there. Gonna let one rip. Tries to tip it. Loose puck and a grab. So that was some quick hands by Webby there. Way to go, J-Mo. All right. 8 seconds left. Big face-off here coming up for Aiden, or Wesley. Wesley wins it back in the corner. And puck goes high off the boards, out of the zone. And clock, they forgot to run the clock. They'll just call the period there. Well, it happens to the best of us. I remember the first time I ran the clock. It's not that easy. Can't all be John Matsons. Am I mute? Handler. All right. Volume's back on. Puck up to Ondich. On the central drip. Oh, nice. Ooh, nice snag by the St. Paul goalie. Man, there was a lot of interference there. I thought that one was going in for sure. All right. Third period. 3-1. Face off. Pisano. Otney in the corner, battle for the puck. Pisano looking to go up to the point. Ondich gets grabbed. Tip it back in. Block shot. Puck coming the other way. Oh, love the hip chucks. Man, it's so long since we've seen those, and now we have 3 tonight. All right, puck going up the boards. Casano grabs the puck, going across the ice. Back to Ondich. Ondich looking for where to go. Puck goes up, and Casano has the puck now. Jace with a shot. Oh my God, just off the end of his stick. Oh. Poke check there. Puck comes up to Blake. Blake's going back across ice over to Matson. Matson gets it up to Grossly. Grossly. Gonna let one rip. Let's let her buck. Man, that kid was annoying. Oh, Jace just lays on some muscle. Nice. Okay, puck goes around the boards, coming up to Matson. Matson lets it rip. Juicy rebound, sitting in no man's land. Comes back to Matson again, back into the corner. Wesley Matson now with the puck. Cycles to Jace. Puck going around, back deep again. And some more muscle coming on. Way to go. Looks like we're going to see an icing here. And icing's the call. A few smiles on the ice today. Like to see that. Boys are having fun. Face off. Wesley Matson, Sellers with his left, and Holcomb to his right. Face off back into the St. Paul zone. I'm gonna guess there'll be a few cutter deep plays here. Tips it out up to the center pass. Nice block by JMO. Gets it back in the corner. Puck battle on the edge. St. Paul going high, takes it out of the zone for the boys. Gonna have to cycle back a little bit. Looking for a pass. Missed. Goes wide. Farmington recovers. Farmington owns the puck. Matson back down to Sellers. It's tipped by St. Paul. St. Paul working their way up the boards. Gets tipped. Farmington gets the puck again. Now we're looking at Bennett. Tips it up to Holcomb. Another mid-ice turnover. All right. Puck is in the zone. Chips it up the boards. And it looks like we got some people going to the box. I don't know what these Holcombs. I'll just say that because Mike's next to me. Oh, kids will be kids. Takes you after mom, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah. All right, face off. All right. St. Paul working the way up the ice, a little bit of pressure, and the puck gets turned over to the Farmington team. Blake Kratz skating behind the net, quick turn, and changes direction. Still keeps dangling the puck, maybe a few lucky bounces there, and up the ice we go. Looking for Levi Luxinger, little chip. Oh, puck goes wide. Levi on the boards. Casano going to keep it deep. Casano working hard for the puck in the corner. Levi putting some additional pressure on. And St. Paul working the puck up again. Picked off by Ondich. Ondich centering pass. Goes right through the sweet spot. No one there. Kratz with the puck. And lets one rip and gets picked off by St. Paul. Puck back in the corner. Levi putting some pressure on. Some stick handling, but not going to happen. Maka going to battle for the puck in the corners. St. Paul cycling low. Goes for a wide pass. That's going to be an icing, so I'm not going to turn the camera and make you all dizzy. Puck coming back. 9 minutes, 53 seconds left. Shots 42, Dyslexia stepping in there. 24 to 12. All right. 3-1, 9 minutes and 53 seconds left in the game. Face off. Wesley Matson. Puck gets won by Farmington, kicks it over back D to D. Ondich with the puck. Back down to Grossley. Grossley's little stick handling and glove save. Nice moves. All right. Took off 3 seconds of clock time. Face off. Goes deep. Chase with the puck. Pops it out to Wesley. A little bit of a stick in between my feet time. Not sure what to do. And like I was like, oh crap, I don't want to get hit. Gets it back deep to his partner. Another D to D. And working the puck up the zone. Says, I'm going to take it back again. Trying to reset up the play. Goes to the next D. Cycles back and picked off by Ondich. I smell a goal. And oh my God. For sure. That's what goals smell like. That's what they smell like. All right. Way to go, buddy. That would be a goal by a pick by Ondich. All right, face off coming up. Wesley Matson picks it off. Otney tips it back in the St. Paul zone. Little D to D pass there. Looking for a breakout. Center picks it up. Going to work in the Farmington country. Little 3-on-3. Puck kick to the side. Way to go, JMO. St. Paul going to try to cycle it low. Gets it back. We got 3 guys low on the St. Paul side. No one in front of the net. We'll take that. A little D to D pass. Working it through. Centering pass. No one's home. Aiden Madson's grabbing the puck. Looking where to go. Picks it up. And tip off the stick of St. Paul. So we're back in the zone. Miles with some speed. Kicks it to Jace. Jace going to go to the D. Nice. Bennett over. Let one rip. Nice juicy rebound. Where's it going? Not sure. Back behind the net of the St. Paul's goalie. Now breaking out of the zone. Going deep, trying to dangle. Cross-ice pass, no one there. Out with the puck, hits it off the boards. St. Paul keeps it in the zone. Poke check. Coming up to Wesley Matson. Wesley's got the puck. Picks it back over to Jace. Jace working the zone. Using that strong body of his to keep it deep. Puck goes over to Sellers. Back to Jace. Puck, a little bit of some finagling there. Puck controlled by Bennett. Bennett kicks out the boards to Casano. Puck back into Farmington zone. Poke check. Cooper Mako skating up the ice with the puck. They're trying to put some bodies. He's not having it. Gets the puck deep, shoots it in. Chip, rebound, goal. Well, that's how tic-tac-toe works. Keep the pressure on. Way to go. Score is now 5-1 Farmington. 29 shots on 12. Feels like whatever the coaches are telling them is working. Good job, coaches. All right, face off. Casano. Puck stuck. Farmington wins the play. Cross ice pass to Sellers. Breaking in. Fast pass to Casano. Casano back over. Ooh, sweet open net area. Puck goes back. And St. Paul looking for a breakout. Tries to do a cross ice pass. Picked up by Kratz. Kratz having fun with the puck. Puck goes back to Ondich. Ondich looking for Sellers. Sellers has got the puck. Breaking in the zone. Kicks it back to, well, I don't know about that one. That was not offsides. Oh my God. He just wanted to use his whistle. Jeez, must be a new toy. New toy. Okay. All right, face off. Casano gets the puck back over to Kratz. Kratz is looking hungry. He wants to get a goal. Why not? Puts one in, center pass. Goalie kicks it to the corner, back behind the St. Paul net. Another D-to-D play here, and they're looking for a big cross-ice pass, misses. Well, that's coming all the way back again, so again, save you the dizziness. 6 minutes, 34 seconds left, 5-1. 29 shots to 12. The guys are having a field day. All right. Puck goes back to Ondich. Keeps it in the zone. Gets it back over to Kratz. Kratz lets one rip. Puck is loose. Holcomb gets a puck along the boards. Goes back deep. Pressure's on by Crisano. Back again. Another D-to-D play. St. Paul not sure where to go. We're going to kick it up the board. Chips it up. Puck is taken over by Olf. Well, looks like Ondich kicked that one up before, but now puck goes back to Blake. Blake just has some fun with some stick handling there, working up the ice. Gonna have some fun. Kicks one over, goes wide. Sellers has got the puck. What does he want to do? He's gonna keep it in the zone. Nice. Puck goes deep. St. Paul gonna cycle back behind the goalie. Pisano pushes the player to the right. Not getting a lot of options. Now we got St. Paul coming up, working up the side of the boards. Gonna get it deep, and St. Paul goes for a line change. Kratz rips one up the boards. It's got Sellers. Got some speed. Casano. Nice play. Smart play. Go to Holcomb? Nope. Darn. Puck comes back to Bennett. Bennett's got control. Gives it over to Kratz. Kratz off the boards. And then Levi with the puck. Kicks it over to Casano. Puck along the boards. Going deep. Levi putting some pressure on. St. Paul kicking up center pass to break out of the zone. Wing, center, wing, and then it is kicking it in deep. Here we got Madsen going to D-to-D, kicking the puck up the boards. Mako picks it up, looking for some opportunities there, kicks it up the boards. St. Paul playing with it back in behind their goal, looking for some breakout opportunities. Nothing happening. Levi putting some pressure on. Cooper looking to put some pressure on. Center pass. Finally, they get out of the zone. Not sure where to go yet. Gets it into the zone for the first time in quite some time, and up the boards we go. We're going to look at icing. I guess that's probably reasonable-ish. Back to the Farmington zone. For those of you viewing today, if you haven't noticed, we've had only one shorthanded opportunity for the other team tonight. The boys are playing smart hockey. Solid there. Face off, Wesley Madsen gets a puck deep. Nice win. Puck going up the boards to St. Paul. Goes to pass to his other defender who's outside the zone. Tries to get the puck deep again. They chip it into the zone. Puck to the D. He's going to let one rip from far. Puck gets deflected into the corner. Puck picked off by Bennett. Bennett goes up to Luxinger. Luxinger goes up to Mako. Mako going to bring it up. Gets it deep. And St. Paul bringing it up the boards. And Bennett, I thought you were going to kill a guy, but I guess not. Puck goes back to the other D. Going to work it up the boards again. Centering pass to the blue line. And now St. Paul's bringing it into the Farmington zone. Webby blocks it to the right. Oh, they want to check Cooper for some reason. Anyhow, Madsen with the puck going up the boards. Wesley going to take it into the zone, using that dangle speed, that wit, gets it back deep, back in the corner. Mako just says no thanks, shoves him to the ground. Miles putting a little body on there, got control of the puck, gets it deep, nice. And Farmington getting a line change. Got a fresh set of legs out there. St. Paul cycling the boards. Looking to break out, cross-ice pass, not having it, gets deflected back into the zone. And now here we go with Ondich. Ondich back to Kratz. Kratz cycling with the puck. Cross-ice pass gets deflected. Miles throws her up the boards. Grossly looking cross-ice to, is that Kratz? Nice. Little dangle, gets poke checked. Puck back in the corner. Puck comes up just a bit outside of the reach of Ondich. Already looking for Jace. Gonna put some wheels on, little chip with the stick, and grabbed by St. Paul. St. Paul gives it to Farmington. Farmington looks on it. Big, strong, nice pass. Gets it across over to Casano. Casano to Miles. Miles goes deep. Puck gets cycled. All right, Farmington getting some new fresh D-legs out there while keeping the puck in the zone. All right, puck turned over. St. Paul coming the other way. Dangling the blue line. Back over to St. Paul's wing. Shoots wide. Puck picked up by Aiden. Aiden up to Jace. Jace. Back down deep to Bennett. Bennett rings the boards back to Aiden. Aiden carrying the puck up, looking for an outlet. Goes to Jace. Jace can look to chip it over to Miles and gets it deep. Miles putting some pressure. Nice body, buddy. Gets a puck behind the net. That guy is afraid of Jace for sure. Says have the puck. All right, go across ice to Ethan Bennett. Bennett lets one rip, gets blocked. Puck coming up the boards. Bennett with the puck goes back to Aiden Madsen. Gets picked off by St. Paul. St. Paul coming the other way. Tries to dangle. Gets one by, but ends up back into this corner of the Farmington territory. Jameson kicks one to the left. Puck up the boards. Up to their point. Gets it back deep. Picked off by Wesley Madsen. Madsen taking up the boards. Nice center pass. Goes again. Oh, Jace. Just so close. St. Paul working up the boards, trying to do a lot of circles. He's lucky he didn't get killed there. Puck going the other way. Jace Grossley's got the puck. Going to look for a pass or a shot. Let one rip. That goalie just got lucky. It wasn't a little lower because he didn't know where it was. All right, another centering pass. Nice. Madsen shot deflected into the corner. Another Madsen put some pressure on. Sellers just gets past the puck. 18 seconds left in the game. And another high pass or high shot. Going nowhere. Puck up the boards. Here we have Holcomb. Holcomb puts the gas on. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that looks like that's the game, folks. Farmington win 5-1. Shots 30 on 14. Nice game for the Farmington boys. Signing off.